Hello and welcome to Tek Wot Tanks, top 5 fails of the week. This is going to be a new series I want to start just to kind of kick things off to just have a bit of fun, just kind of a bit of a laugh, and I will probably change the topic every week just to kind of keep things different. So without further ado, let's get this underway. This is my top 5 fails of the week, mainly all in the LC because that's what I'm trying to play at the moment, to get my crew skills up in it. So we start off with what I call the cliff fail. And I actually come across here, I'm just trying to get somewhere early on in the game, and I decide to slide down the slope, and it takes off nearly all of my health, knocks out 4 different modules, including my tracks, and I'm now stuck, and you can see it's reduced me down to 114 health. This was quite a facepalm moment, I'm not going to lie, and it didn't really end too well. So we come on to my second shall we say, fail of the week. This was actually a problem what to do with hardware, because what was happening is my hard disk was being rendered at the time, indexed at the time. I wasn't aware, and what it meant was that the tanks weren't rendering as soon as I spotted them. It was about a 2-second delay, so it means I come around this corner at top speed in the LC, and you'll see the tank puts a shot into me before I even see him, and then bang, I go straight into the front of him, and it removes all of my health. Yet another facepalm moment by me, and that wasn't too great. So let's move on to the next clip, because those two were the top two. They weren't very too special. Now this is one that I quite enjoy because it's got 2 little fails in the same clip, which is quite funny. So after a okay-ish start, I started spotting from from a bush near the side of the lake. I come and help this tank destroyer over here, and we see there's an ELC coming down. So I think, let's be nice and sneaky and hide behind this rock. But I'm actually auto-aimed onto him, which turns my tank into the rock, and well, yeah, the rest is history. But this is not over yet. The LC engages the tank destroyer, and luckily for me, the tank destroyer manages to finish off the LC. I believe the LC hasn't actually spotted me because of where the rock is and my position compared to him. He wouldn't have actually seen me just yet. And the tank destroyer puts in a great shot to finish him off any second now. We should see it any second. Go on, Mr. Tank Destroyer, finish him off. Is he doing it? Yes, there we go. Now the LC is dead, and the tank destroyer notices I'm in a little bit of difficulty right now. Nice physics there, as you can see the tank's bumping about. And he comes and gives me a little shunt, manages to get my arse out from above the rock, and gives me another little poke, and gets me to do a nice little roll, which puts me back on my tracks. Now at this point, I'm like, well, I've got to go and do something special, because if I don't, then that's all worthless, isn't it, really? We've got to go and do something to help the team out now. As we see, we're losing 10-6, and yeah, things aren't going too great for us right now. I don't end up managing to carry this, but we managed to take out quite a few tanks in this nice little run. So I see this tiger up here. He's just kind of camping behind the wreck of this, I believe it's a KV-1S or a KV-85. So I come up in line with the tank, and I just stick out, and he manages to miss this shot. So I pull the handbrake, and no! Somehow the shot goes into his gun mantlet, so I have to come up, side scrape along the side, or side scrape, just sort of side scramble his tank. And I believe here that I thought I could beat his reload, and unluckily for me, he puts in a shot straight into me, and yeah, there was no chance of me bouncing anything from that tank. So we move on, we come on, we think, well, this game is going to be a bit of a disaster, so let's try and scrape what we can out of this game. Now I am leaving my artillery here in the breeze because, well, to be honest, it's not the best option for me to come back right now. Try and deal with the tanks that are coming out of the cap circle. I'd much rather try and deal with it from this side, where we only have a Panzer IV-H, which is a reasonably good player, and we have the artillery behind this rock. So we may as well try and take out the artillery as quickly as we can, and then deal with the Panzer IV-H when he comes. Now the artillery manages to splash me and take off a little bit more of my health, so things still aren't going too well, but luckily we take him out of the game, which is great. So I kind of have a little bit of a misplay moment here, where I'm kind of wondering which way would be the best way for me to try and approach this. And I think that the Panzer IV-H is going to try and flank me from around the other side, but unknowns to me, he comes around, but he misses his shot on that corner. So I managed to put in a quick shot there at point blank range and blast him in the side for a decent chunk of health, and managed to kind of out-traverse his tank. I believe he can't get the gun down on me right now. And he did actually fire there, I don't know if you saw that, but that means then again I have time just to be able to put that second shot in and take him out of the game. And now things start to go a little bit sour, so I decided it's probably now best to go and try and help or try and take out this FV-304. We have maybe an M6 and a KV-1 coming out of the cap, which are both tanks I can deal with, but I spot the artillery. So I think, well, this is another artillery, and at the time, if I'd killed this artillery, I would have done my mission. And I come up and I derp the shot, and yeah, the rest is history. So that wasn't the best of challenges. So this fail was what I call, can I throw this any further? And prior to this, we'd managed to kind of fend off a good few enemy tanks, and we were actually losing by quite a substantial amount, but I didn't really want to put the whole clip in because it's quite a lengthy battle. And there's actually a Cromwell B who has carried this game completely hard, and he's managed to scrape up 9 kills, and to me this is fair play to him. Like, he played like an absolute boss. I mean, I was spotting for him, and we were working as a team really well, but unfortunately got finished off by the Rudy. Now, the Rudy's last known position and the way he was moving when I last saw him, he was chasing me to come down into, well, towards this cap circle. So I think to myself, I can be really nice and sneaky and just kind of hide myself in this bush and see if I can set up the ambush off on him. Now, it takes a little while here to, I actually speed up the replay just to make sure that it's not as boring for you, because a couple of minutes go past, and I'm wondering at the moment, well, I would have spotted him by now, so yeah, he's most probably going to be going towards the cap circle. So you'll see any second he'll probably start capping. You can see even in the chat I say he's probably going to cap, because I've thought by now this is taking far too long for him just to drive out in front of me. So I decide, yep, there we go, the cap's gone off, and I think, right, let's do a standard ambush procedure. We've got enough cover from this side of the cap. You can see I pinged the minimap there just to let my team know that I kind of understand where I can come from to do this. And I really want to win this battle for the Cromwell B, because he's done such a good job. Like, it would be epic if I managed to well, pull this off for him. And undoubtedly he really wants me to win this, so at first I think about trying to use some of the bushes up on the top of these hills up here to try and spot. I kind of think against it because there's too many buildings in the way and a bit too much cover, so I think, right, the time's running out now, I have to get round into the cap to be able to do something about this guy. He's going to cap out any second. So I come up here on the side. There's a lot of cover here that you can use to kind of mask yourself, and the ELC, as we know, is really camo coefficient is great. And with I have a female crew member and nearly 3 crew skills in there now, so I'm pretty confident I'll be able to spot him first. So I start coming up along these bush lines, but there's slightly too much cover in between me, and I don't realise the undulations are actually going to cause me a bit of a problem. And there's a slight hill just in front of me that I don't actually realise is there. So he's capped out, I need to kill him, I've got 5 seconds to kill him, he's there, and he managed to spin the turret all the way around and snapshot me. And yeah, good game. I'm so sorry to that Cromwell if he ever sees this. That's not nice for him. But yeah, so this one's actually not a fail on my behalf. I begin this game by just coming up. I'd like to sort of pull further back on this map just to see if I can catch anyone out. There's no mini-map at the start of this because I wanted you just to see what actually happens in the beginning of this. Admittedly, I do retaliate, which is against really how I normally play, but this E25 seems to think, oh no, you shouldn't be here, let's go push you out. So I decide, well, what are you doing? So I try and push back into him, and I realise I nearly flip him there. So I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to flip you. At the end of the day, I'd rather have you as a gun on my team than flip you. And I kind of come round sort of as a, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Give him a little nudge and just, you know, just lay off it. What's the point? So at this point, I'm thinking, right, there's actually a tank just down towards where you can see I'm heading now. He's actually pushed really aggressively out, and he's over pushed into our sort of area. And we've got a couple of tanks already engaging him, so I'm coming in for a snapshot drive-by here. And they managed to finish him off just slightly early. You can see the E25 is engaging from the ridge line at the back there. And I kind of, I will engage the minimap features again in a second so you can see what he does here. We managed to finish off the tank there, and I just spin the tank around and start coming back to start a new angle of approach on people, basically. If you look at the minimap right now, you can see the E25 has come all the way down. I think they're like, at this point I'm kind of wondering, like, was that on purpose? Like, did he try and ram me there? Like, what was he trying to do? Is he that pissed off? So I kind of give him a little run around through the buildings. Like, I'm aware that if I go and try and do anything, he's just gonna fuck me up, basically, gonna try and push me out in front of people. So I think, right, is he just trying to chase me? So I stop to see if he'll pass me, and no, he rammed straight into me and does 43 damage to me. Right now he's shaved off 43 damage, and it's starting to get a bit annoying. So I mean, as like a warning shot, I don't actually aim at him, I just kind of fire, and I think he thinks I shot at him, and it kind of pisses him off again. And you can see he rams me again there for another 14 damage. And at this point I'm like, what are you trying to do? Like, I'm trying to let him like go so I don't have to deal with him, and he decides it's in his right position to start ramming me forwards up this slope into this wall. I think he tries to flip me here. As you can see, my tank pings up onto the side. Nice physics there. But I managed to sort of sort out. So I think to myself, well, he's going to keep being a dick to me no matter what now. So I just need to try and... There's another 15 damage. Admittedly, that was more me causing it to myself rather than him ramming me. But I think to myself, right, if I can get him to come out here, I can possibly get him killed, which I know it's not the best play, but I really, like, at least I can try and do something without him here. So I can drive out in front of these tanks. Luckily one of them misses, and they put a good shot into him for me. And I'm hoping they can kind of kill him off for me so he doesn't, like, he's still got this hard on for me, and he's still chasing me about the map. So I'm thinking, right, this is getting ridiculous now. So I decide it's time for me to kind of try and break off. He's still chasing me, and he actually rammed into someone else there, doing a lot more. It does another load of team damage there. I think you can see where this is going now. And he's still chasing me across here, and I actually take a shot there because I'm looking at him wondering what the fuck he's doing. And I kind of come around to try and get into cover from this building, and he rams me again. But he rams me up against the building, and he just turned blue. He turned blue from ramming damage. And at this point I'm just laughing. I know I'm going to die here, but I put a shot into him to say, oh, fuck you, you've been a cunt all game. Like, sorry for the language, but pricks like this don't deserve to play this game. So let's brighten it up a bit. It's not all doom and gloom, and let's just look at this replay. This was an unbelievable game that I had the other day. I couldn't even believe it was happening myself. It's what I called the Radley Bolters on a plate, because I managed to get a Radley Bolters basically with, I believe it's only like 600 damage that I do, but it was just one of those games that everything just seemed to sort of click and go right. You start off the game, we kind of push down this line. I don't normally like pushing down here because it's kind of turned the engagement for me into kind of like a face-off with probably higher tiered, stronger armoured, frontally facing tanks. It's not the greatest option, but there's a nice little spot here that you can use that if I pulled further back from this bush I probably wouldn't have been spotted, but you can, like, I kind of just started trying to fire a snapshot there just to see if it would go, because I obviously wasn't going to aim in time. But as you can see, you can actually mask up your camo here and like get shots at people going like cresting across to try and get up onto the hill. Unluckily for me, the shot bounces and I don't manage to do any damage there, and I'm kind of getting a bit pissed off now, thinking I kind of wonder, like, the first shot I didn't get spotted by, and then the second shot I actually kind of used the bushes to my advantage, yet I still get spotted. Okay, I don't know what that's about. And here we can see the standard sort of, oh look, there's a light tank hard on that goes on in the game, which kind of pisses me off. But if you don't like light tanks, if you can't deal with that, you shouldn't be driving light tanks. So you can see this Cromwell's got about 5 targets to shoot at, but he keeps trying to shoot at me, and he deserves that bounce because, well, he's an idiot. So he's not an idiot, I guess. He was trying to take a gun out of the game, but he was obviously going to die. So at this point, I'm thinking, right, I need to try and get a new angle in this engagement. I really don't want to cut myself off here or get ISO'd out here, so I come across and just see if I can maybe sneak a shot off of the tanks up there, and maybe get some spots off at anybody who could be further up the up the road. As you can see, I managed to get 2 spots off on the Matilda and the T40, but I actually noticed there's an ELC coming into our base, into our Arty park, and to be honest, I don't want him getting this, well, I think it's a Pascucci's medal for 3 artillery kills. So yeah, I come in to try and defend our artillery here because I feel that it's the right play to do, because we don't want to lose artillery support this early on in the game. I mean, we're already down to like 2 tanks, and the damage is in our favour, but it's starting to go down. We're bleeding quite heavily. So I decided it's probably in my best interest, and he actually dukes me really well here. I thought he was going to come down to try and get the arse of the tanks, the T80 and the tanks on that flank, but he actually doesn't. He goes back round the back of the cap, and I thought that he was going to come down to the left here, so I actually drive off this way. And it takes me a little while to figure out that he hasn't actually come down this way, and that he was actually going for the other 2 artillery on the other side. And he kind of, it's quite a nice play, because if you saw him on the minimap, the way he was heading, the way he headed out really suggested that he was going to be coming down to this side of the cap. And you can see I notice him just there popping up on the minimap, and I think, right, we need to deal with this. This isn't good. We need to get him out of our base. We need to be able to, well, put some damage down. We need to start doing something more for our team. So far, I've only done 55 damage on the kill on that Cromwell, which has put us our first kill, which is, well, it's alright. I guess you could argue I could engage the 88, but I felt that trying to save our artillery here was the best play, because we really need them in this battle. Like, artillery support, like, as much as some people hate artillery, it's really worth trying to save them, just because their advantage that they have, like, you can't get that out of any other tank. So trying to save the artillery at all costs if possible is the best thing you can do. You can see I light up the 88 again there. I could again turn around and engage him, but as I said, I really wanted to try and deal with this ELC, because again, he's quite a big threat to me. We come in here, we see him spotted. He's actually kind of tunnel visioned on the artillery here, and I managed to come in and sneak off the drive-by and managed to put a shot into him and take him out of the game. So at this point, I noticed we have an M3 Lear and I believe it's a Cromwell that will come around the corner. Yeah, the Cromwell, you can just see him moving up on the AMX. You can see the M3 Lear is going to be coming around the corner now. They're both, the Cromwell, sorry, is a one-shot, and the M3 Lear isn't yet, but I believe the M3 Lear takes a big shot from artillery. As you can see, I'm kind of lining up the shot on my Cromwell right now, just seeing if he's going to carry on driving, but he doesn't. I get kind of lucky with that shot, and it flies true, and I manage to take him out of the game. Now, again, I use the auto-aim feature here just to make sure that the reticle's aiming down in on me. I can see fires coming in, so I have to try and make sure this is done quickly. I believe it's the 88, and there we go. We managed to snapshot off the M3 Lear as well. Don't we all love that tank? So anyway, you can still hear the shots raining in from the 88, and we decide now that it's probably, like, at this point, it's probably a bit of a misplay, because I probably wasn't going to spot him from here, because there's actually quite a lot of lines of concealment that I didn't really realise at the time. But I kind of think, right, I need to try and spot this 88 and see if we can get some shots off. We've got a KV-85 coming back to help us now, which is quite quite appreciated after I've managed to take out 4 tanks that have been trying to take out our base. So I try and get the spot off on get the drop off on this 88, because I believe he probably could be coming up these hills now towards our base, and it'd be quite nice if I could take him out of the game and get another kill this early on. It would be great. But unfortunately we don't manage to light him, so I decided, right, I need to kind of get more productive out of this. We need to kind of carry on what we're doing, and I decided that you can see we have an OI. He's a one-shot as well for me. Thanks to the guys that are engaging down that hill, they did a great job of managing to lower them down. Unfortunately, I didn't focus their fire, in my opinion, enough, and they have left them all on low hit point health, which I'm not complaining, because it leads me on to this. Unfortunately, I bounced the shot off the front of the 88 because I auto-aimed it, which was a bit of a misplay. I should have aimed it in, but I felt with that kind of shot, I didn't have time to sit there faffing about with the aiming, and I just wanted to try and just chance it and see. I mean, I could have loaded a premium round for that shot, but again, it would have been nicer if I just managed to take him out right there. But unfortunately, that's not what was happening for me, that it didn't work. So I decided I need to try and come round and try and flank these guys while the KV-85 takes them on frontally, as he has the stronger frontal armour. It is to me, it felt like the right play at the time. So I decided to come around here, and again, this is quite lucky for me. Again, this is more luck than anything. I managed to spot the T-40 just before I put out in front of him, and he hasn't spotted me. My sixth sense hasn't gone off yet, so he is unaware of where I am. I guess I would think I'm still up on top of the hill. So I managed to sneak round, get the flank again on him. We spot the grill while we're coming round here, or the grillet, whatever you want to call it. And we managed to come round behind the T-40. Again, we've just put in the auto-aim shot and just managed to shoot him in the bum, take him out of the game as well. Now, we managed to see the shots raining in here from the 2 heavy tanks that are trying to, well, the VK and the OI, they're trying to come in on our base. And so I think, right, I need to drop off the spots here, and we have the T-82 HMC is spotted now as well, and the Matilda on either flank, so we need to make sure that we don't get hit here. So you see I'm wiggling about, just trying to make sure that I haven't been spotted. Now, you see I think about going for the Matilda here, but I think right now I'd rather try and like save the KV and try and keep as much hit points on him as possible for later on in the game, so we can kind of reliably carry this. Now we pulled the scores back to 10-10 now, and you can see the OI is just cresting this ridgeline in front of me. It's kind of a big misplay by him. Quite a badly aimed shot. You can see the kind of reticles lagging quite a way behind there. I should have kind of probably moved that shot further forwards, but luckily for us, the shot connects and we take the OI out of the game as well. We're now up to 6 kills. That's our top gun. And you can see the VK, he's seen the OI die in front of him, and he thinks, right, if I reverse up, I can get shots on him. Now, this is where my crew skills, my female crew member, I believe, comes into advantage, where he hasn't actually spotted me yet, and I believe he spots me now, and that's just a second too late, and I managed to put in the shot and take him out of the game. So up to 7 kills now. That's, I believe, just 1 kill away from my Bradley Walters, and I'm thinking right now, like, all I need is 1 more kill, and yay, Bradley Walters murder. Like, I believe this is only the second Bradley Walters I've had. Because I'm not really that great of a player. I'm not the first person to admit that. I play for the fun of this game, to be honest. I don't play for stats or anything like that. I just play for the fun of it. And this is one of those sort of games again that I just felt was just a really fun game. So I thought I'd share it with you guys, especially after some of the doom and gloom we had before. So anyway, I kind of have a bit of a misplay here. You see, I got spotted, and I was wondering, like, where did I get spotted from? You can see I managed to spot the Matilda right there. And I kind of come round and managed to get the auto-aim off just there. And I kind of come in, but luckily the KV-85 managed to put in a great shot and managed to take him out and take him out of the game. So next, I think, right, the last known position. I don't quite know why, but the last known position of the Grillet wasn't actually on my minimap, even though he's actually still alive. Unless it's a different Grillet that hasn't been spotted yet, which actually, no, it turns out it hasn't. I've only just noticed that on the replay. So anyway, I decided that I could probably get better spots off if I kind of come up and get some higher ground, so I can kind of spot off over the kind of dip in the map in the centre. As we both know that, well, we know that the Grillet was most probably going to be with the HMC, as they're most probably together. Artillery seem to like to stick together, because obviously if a light tank comes around like me, they can kind of help each other out and try and take out the light tank, I guess. So I come up here trying to get the spot off, and I kind of, you can see I'm still thinking that it was the other Grillet, which we spotted earlier, but you can see he's actually dead there, and I'm a bit of a noob and don't notice that. I notice it about now, so I think, oh, there we go, there's the Grillet, he's been spotted in the middle. I kind of come over, just seeing if I can get the shot, and again the KV-85 managed to pick up another kill, great for him, but that's not my Bradley Walters. So I continue on, and now basically this puts me in quite a horrible position, because the National can, he can't one-shot me, but he can do a hell of a lot of damage to me very quickly. He's one of those tank destroyers that, again, I guess the misplay I played here, like if I looking back on this and how I can play this slightly better, is maybe if I'd aimed for the kind of the upper casement of him and loaded a HE shell, I would have been able to one-shot him. But I believe my HE rounds have 3200 damage, no, 3200, have about 300 damage, I believe, something along those lines. So you can see we get the drop off on him here. I come in to try and get under this low ground, to get underneath his gun, so he can't actually kind of crest and get over me. And I come round seeing that I kind of I think his traverse is slightly longer than it is, and he manages to put into a shot there, and things aren't going too well for him. But he's fired now, so I've got a few seconds to be able to get round him and you can see he keeps turning, and I'm kind of like worried by that, so I decided, right, if I just park behind him, that's okay, it leaves me in a good position. And I managed to just pull back, put the shot on the side, and there is my Bradley bolts. Anyway, if you enjoyed this replay, well, the replays that are featured here, and you liked what I'm doing here, just hit us a like, comment, and subscribe. It would be really great and really helps the channel out. And I hope to see you soon in the next video. I'll take it easy and have a good weekend.